Well, I told you in a previous video, it's all about water, baby. And I meant it, the lifeblood of a homestead. Stay put to the end of the video because I want to give you the ins and outs and give you the tour of my rainwater catchment system and let you know how good or how bad it did for me this year. Stay put.
This world's in trouble, you know what we mean. Homesteading is a lifestyle, healthy, wholesome, and green.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the All Green channel. I'm Jimbo. Thanks so much for following along. Do me a quick favor, hit the like button right now before we forget, and definitely subscribe if you don't already. You really help our channel out by hitting those buttons and letting me know in the comments what you think of this video at the end. But follow along, we appreciate you, and if you like content revolving green lifestyle, homesteading, conservation, we talk a little bit about everything here, and specifically today I'm going to give you the tour of one of my favorite things I did all year, and that's this rainwater catchment system you see next to me. What you're looking at right there is two IBC totes. That's what they're called. And usually people will repurpose used ones, and what you're looking for is food grade plastics. These actually used to hold agave. So we found them listed on Craigslist, Facebook Marketplace, I think, and we got a great deal on them. Usually you see them up for $100, $75 each. We got them for $50 each. Towed the horse trailer down, picked them up all at once, got a pretty good deal on them, and I was very happy with it. They're brand new. They only were used the once to transport agave, probably from the Southwest somewhere, all the way up here to New York. And they've been fantastic. There are 275 gallons each, so they hold a lot of water. I've used them all year since I set this up. Honestly, this is probably this is something that I'm most excited about, I think, this whole year of homesteading and setting up these different systems, of what I'm most excited about because of how well it worked. It has held water and filled up probably in 3 or 4 rainstorms. Give it 3 weeks since I set it up and it was full. And I drain it. I use several gallons every single day, and you'll see the water level drop. But every time it rains, fills it right back up for me. And I use them for the chickens. I use the water on my gardens. I use the water for the dogs. Lots of different, the goats. A lot of different critters you have been capitalizing and using the water that we've been storing from the rain. No electricity, no pumps needed. It's all from rain that hits the top of my metal roof, slides down, gets to the gutter. The gutter, you see, comes down to the inlet of the IBC pipe, and that's it. That's all it takes. I will go through a little bit of the step-by-step process of how I set it up for you real quick. So the setup was really quite easy, guys. I told you I bought these two IBC totes. These are really nice ones. I really like the metal cage around it. Also notice the grading on the hash marks and the numbers telling you how many liters or gallons that you have. So that's kind of just a nice little feature. I really do like the ones I picked up in that the beyond the cage and the markings. This lever, or this valve right here, it's heavy duty. I want to make sure I'm getting something that's not going to be flimsy and break. So that's one nice feature about it. They do have these big old tops on the top here. They screw off. This is the one from the other tank. They just screw off. Look for the tops that have these little air vents. Okay, that's going to let as water comes in, it's going to let the air get pushed out, and it also keeps stuff from going in. So that's just another feature that you're going to want to look for when you are designing your own system. So now, the PVC pipe that you see down here all came from Lowe's. You're going to have to do your research. These do come in different size outlets, okay? But this fitting right here is a screw-on fitting, and attached right to the IBC tank really just by literally hand screwing it on. And from there, I had bought a stretch, I think just one stretch of 10-foot pipe. I think this is 2 inch. And yeah, it is 2 inch. And I bought one 2 inch T and let me go down here, one 2 inch 90-degree angle, two of these screw-ons, obviously, and then I've connected the two with a little pipe right here that I cut from the 10-foot section. And I don't even know what this is called. It's like a T where you've got the 2 inch here. I'll talk about this other 2 inch in a minute. And then just literally a screw on tap for this faucet spigot. So, which again I purchased from Lowe's as well. So get the right combination. There's a lot of different variations that you can do with this system. What it's doing is both of these valves are open right now. Okay, and what it's doing is as water comes into the one tank, it will equalize across the system. So the water will come in and they will stay the same level roughly because it is allowed to come into this pipe and into the other tank and fill up. And again, as it fills up, it pushes the air out the top. So you always need that vent. Now, you might be asking, why did I put this extra piece right here? This is a clean out, okay? It is not glued in. When you're working with PVC, you oftentimes need a PVC glue. And now that I'm thinking about it, I did it this last spring. I actually didn't glue any of this. I said I didn't really want the glue in any of the water that comes out. So if it didn't screw in on its own, it just plugged in. And I just made sure it was plugged in tight. I did not glue anything. And so there's going to be a little pressure from it, but this PVC holds up pretty well. And you'll see it stayed all year without popping off. But it is a clean out, so I can pop off this or pop off this pipe. And if I had not put a filter screen in there and it might have collected debris or something, if it blew off and something got in there, I could probably take that pipe apart and clean it out. So just kind of thinking ahead, trying to stop problems before they happen. So that's what that is. You'll also notice the foundation blocks that I put on underneath there, just concrete blocks, again, I got from Lowe's. And yeah, they worked pretty well. If I were to do this again, I would level this off a little bit better. Okay, they are forward slanting a little bit. You also see that I've got this bow, this bending in the plastic pallet that they put underneath this cage. First of all, that's another feature I really liked. Don't get anything with wood that might rot. This plastic pallet is very sturdy. Obviously, it holds a lot of weight. And yeah, it just has done really well. Now, if I were to do it again, and I think I will next spring, because today I'm actually emptying these before they start freezing on me. That is one thing you're not going to be able to use these in the wintertime unless you're down south somewhere where it doesn't freeze much. I'm going to add more concrete blocks and or maybe put some 4x4s or a 4x6 underneath these runs to make it so it doesn't bow or bend. So that's just one thing I would do differently. Let me give you one more quick look up here. This cap doesn't actually go to the IBC. I bought that from Lowe's. It's some kind of a cap filter for another big pipe, but it doesn't really fit, right? So I just kind of drilled in some holes to keep it on there, just to keep critters and rodents and things out from getting inside. And then I also have a smaller screen for mosquitoes and bugs and anything. I have had zero problem with stuff getting in. I mean, it has been amazing how well this worked. So very, very happy with how this gone this year. And you see, my poor attempt at leveling this with some blocks. I'm going to do better next year. And once you get water in it though, unless you empty it, these things are permanent. They're stationary, not going to go anywhere. So let me just give you a quick look at what's going on with the gutter. Okay, real simple, guys, real simple. Um, and that's, keep it simple. That's what they say, right? All I did was I screwed this gutter. I did have some of these hangers. Now this is repurposed gutter, guys. This is gutter that's 30 years old from the house. It fell down some ice storm, and I've just had it in the barn, since then. And finally repurposed it, found a use for it. And the hangers, they didn't really work too well because they actually hung the gutter too far from the drip edge. You need that gutter right under the drip edge so you're catching as much water coming off the roof as possible. And then make sure it's slanted down. That's all it is. All you need is a level, and making sure that you've got some kind of slant. The water will then come down into this drop, and if it's too much water, it's going to pour right out the end, and that's okay, because frankly, this much roof collects a lot of water. So it's been fantastic. And one quick future thing, I plan on running several drip lines right from this, where I can just open up that valve, and you can see where I've got some staked out gardens. I've got some garlic planted over here and some comfrey planted over here. We'll talk more about those in a future video. But I'm going to be running drip lines. And one thing I do want to mention before we close up this video is planning your location. It worked out well for this barn that you can see there's a little bit of a grade difference, a drop in elevation, down, obviously down from the roof, right? But also moving out this way. It's all gravity fed, so unless you want to put a pump in place, keep that in mind that you're using gravity. You need to be able to flow water downhill, and don't expect this water pressure to be a huge amount. It's going to move water, but it's not going to move it super fast or in large volume. So just be aware it's going to have limitations because you're not artificially pumping or adding pressure to it. It's just, in this system at least, it's just going to be gravity. So my drip lines will be running down and will be perfect for a drip. I'm not going to try to wash my car with it because there's not going to be enough pressure. But anyways, just plan ahead. Think about your elevations. Make sure you have, a fair spot to grab onto, to install a gutter. And it might take a couple trial and errors, right? Of location and getting the tanks to be situated so it lines up with the gutter, the positioning. So, but I would also just say I couldn't be happier with it. I think you would do very well with a system similar. So let me know if you have questions in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we will see you in the next video.